Welcome, loves, to another episode of my podcast That's Fine With Me. Today, we're going to be talking about why you don't want to be an influencer. At first, I thought, should I put a question mark? And then, no, an exclamation point for sure. I'm not going to tell you, do not become an influencer. This is not the way to go because, well, quite obviously, I am on this path. But I just want to tell you some ups and downs of this. Let's call it a profession. Right now, it's a full-blown profession, an influencer, and about 10 years ago, people didn't know what to do with his views and how to sell some products. People were just enthusiastic about being on camera and sharing some experience. Now it's more about financial goals and financial prosperity. For some people, it's about to fill their creativity levels. It's more about different kind of things that you want to fulfill in your life. But definitely an influencer is a way to go. And a lot of people thinking it's all glitter and gold. Unfortunately, I'm going to be talking from my point of view, and most definitely, I'm not a very successful influencer. I've been doing this for almost 7 years. And yeah, guys, I started my channel in 2019. And it's 2025 and I have 1,000, almost under 300 subscribers, which I'm super proud of. And I really love the fact that at least I have this amount of people following and sharing their experience, leaving their comments. But at the same time, is that something that you expect from your channel, or something that you start early on and then getting this in 7 years? I don't really think so. But I'm just really going to talk about some ups and downs that I went through, and then we're going to be talking about burnout in my next podcast, because this is a really, really important topic to discuss. Let's get started with some benefits and something that you can get out of being an influencer, which is pretty obvious. It can be a really great salary, and you can earn a lot of money from being an influencer if you're really popular and famous viral influencer like a celebrity. And then you can, of course, have a creative control of whatever you're producing and doing. But we're going to talk about downside of it in a minute. Then, of course, an opportunity to start your own business, because a lot of influencers, they expand it into their own brands and their own, financial decisions that are really profitable and can bring a lot of money. But at the same time, a lot of, influencers, they didn't go bankrupt, but they just didn't probably succeed in this realm. Then, of course, you are your own boss, and that is appealing a lot. And a lot of people would really love to be their own bosses without any control. Diversity in your job, or especially in what you're doing every single day. It can be from editing, filming, doing the lighting, creating and writing the script, depending on what content you're performing. And especially, I would say it's about posting content. You're kind of your own PR manager, your own editor, you're your own actress and actor, and depending on what you're doing. Of course, with TikTok and probably any other platform such as Rednote, it has become a little bit more simpler, just because you don't really have to edit a lot of the times. You can film a small clip and then you can post it real quick. And then flexible hours, that's something that I can definitely talk about from a perspective. Like my friend, she once called me and said, let's go out and let's just have some real quick talk. I need your support. And I was like, okay, so I need to film something before that time, and then maybe on Friday I can film the rest. It's definitely flexible hours, but I don't really think it's going to be flexible every single day, depending on, and of course, road trips, not even road trips, but if you have to take at least an hour or so to get to work and then spend another hour to get back from work, it's pretty exhausting to spend at least 2 hours a day to get to work. And that is the main reason why a lot of the times it seems like a great opportunity if you can work from home. But again, we're going to talk about the downside of all. So all of this positive things, I just wanted to get them there. And of course, there's a lot of benefits from becoming an influencer. The reason I'm saying that it's partially not true sometimes is because, well, not every single influencer is actually successful, and not every single influencer can earn from this channel. That is the main reason why we're going to the downside of it all, and why I think you should consider if it's going to be a thing for you guys, or you just have to think it twice. So real quick, of course, if you are famous, then you're gonna get a lot of brand deals, and you're gonna probably get a lot of opportunities from there. And a lot of people would say, and especially they're criticizing Michaela for that, being a sellout and just recommending every single product that is paying you, that is the only way around for this influencers. Not even the OG influencers, but TikTok influencers that are really popular right now, they're selling you everything, whatever people are paying them for, they're actually selling. And I don't really think if it's a great product or not. That's just the way it's going right now. But honestly, being a small creator like I am, I still get a lot of companies to promote something. In 2021 or maybe in 2022, I don't really remember, I got my first ever PR box from Oh My Nails, and I even have a video on my channel where I was doing the PR. But to be honest, I have in this video some pros and cons, and I said a lot of things like, if you need this, it's good. If you don't really need this, it's bad. So I was comparing and giving my honest opinion. By the way, back then I was maybe a proud owner of 40 or 50 followers, or like, it's better to say community. That is the main reason why I was like, wow, this is the first ever PR from brand. That is the main reason why I was super excited and I really wanted to do some commercial or whatever. And right now I'm so much more choosy, and you can't see any other commercials on my channels, and I'm not promoting anything. First and foremost, you have to be smart. If you start promoting any other brands that don't even offer any money, and I learned that you can actually charge companies if you have over 1,000 views, not views, but 1,000 followers, and it depending on how many views you actually get most of the time, it's pretty much not even desperate, but I don't even know what word to use, but I got some proposals and collaborations from brands. They're not offering me money. They're asking for a collaboration, so they're sending me the product and I have to review this product, and they see a potential probably in my channel that I do actually get some views, especially in my shorts, and then they ask me to get this promotion, free promotion, I would say promotion. I don't really think it's wise, because when you do get paid in the future, there are going to be so many more small companies trying to get you to promote their product that even me, who has only 1,000 subscribers mark, like I hit this mark almost a year ago, and I have like more than 1,000 subscribers right now, then try to imagine someone who has 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers, and depending on the industry you're working in. I consider myself in beauty industry. That is the main reason why I guess I get a lot of those proposals, but it's not always that bad. I actually got a very cool proposal from a relatively big brand. I would say, yeah. And a lot of people know about this brand, and this brand was mentioned in Cosmopolitan and in Vogue. That is the main reason I was super excited. It was a year ago, and I really wanted to do that. But for those who don't really know, and I talk about this a lot, I'm from Russia, from Moscow, and I'm very straightforward. Whenever people try to actually offer any deal, I tell them straightforward that I would be really excited to do this. But at the same time, my location is very, questionable right now, and that is the main reason why delivery might not get through, or it might be some difficulties. I know what is going on, and I know that I can't influence the situation, and I know that I can work on something that is out of my control. That is the main reason why I tell every single brand that this is kind of a problem right now, so you can probably deliver it. But at the same time, I understand that a lot of this company, they don't really want to associate with me because I'm from, this country that is not supported around the world. And that is the main reason why I'm kind of okay with that. I just, again, I can't control situation. I'm not involved with the situation, but I try to be really cool about this whole thing, and I'm not getting offended. Of course, sometimes I get this feeling like, yeah, that was a great opportunity. I mean, I wish I could get this opportunity because this brand is huge in beauty industry, and a lot of actually famous influencers and bloggers, they're reviewing the products. And this is probably the only time that I would definitely review a product without any payments. But right now, I know that probably I'm not going to do any kind of like sponsorships or any brand deals for free, because I'm not only choosy, but I want to prioritize my work and labor, because I've been doing this for almost 7 years, and I do this for free. I don't actually get paid. I have never been paid for any of my work, though I was offered a lot of those collaborations. That is the main reason, just to keep this in mind, that if you come across as a sellout and if you have like a small channel and you're 1,000 subscribers and you start picking up every single collaboration that might actually not be trustworthy. And I actually understand, like, I would be pissed if I watch someone who doesn't have a lot of a following, and then this person is going to try to sell me every single product, or just not even sell, but do a PR, and they don't even get paid for that as well. So what is the point in this? What is the point in just giving some products because you just get some free products. I mean, most of the time you can buy this product by yourself. Then the second thing about the creative control, it does actually work in the sense of creativity, and you can create whatever you want. But let me tell you this. Most of the time, you just have to pick up on different trends. These trends, they're crucial, they're important, and you have to see what people really want to watch. And sometimes it doesn't really matter. Again, it's depending on the industry, but it doesn't really matter if the content you're creating, you really love it and you just enjoy creating this. But at the same time, you just have to pay attention to the fact that people are not interested in everything you do, like might not be interested in everything you do. You have to follow the trend that like, well, this is going to be interesting for a viewer and this might not be interesting for the viewer. Creative control is 50-50. You can do whatever you want, but is it going to be watchable? Are people going to be interested? You have to ask these questions yourself. And probably I'm doing something wrong because people are not interested in my content, though I try so many different things and so many different topics, and I do different kind of like reviews are going well on my channel pretty well most of the time. And you have to pay attention that sometimes certain videos, they're going to become popular, or just the algorithm is going to pick them up in a year or so, and that is going to become a little bit more kind of not even viral, but just like, yeah, some certain videos, they're going to become more popular in a year or so. It happened to me basically. And when you are not popular and you just don't really have a huge team, sometimes you have to think twice if you have enough time for that. I'm talking about your job. And when I started my channel in 2019, I was graduating from university and I had to do a lot of things related to my study because I needed to graduate and write my diploma and so many more things. That was the main reason why I didn't have enough time to film and upload a lot of different videos, especially my husband and I, we were moving into our new apartment. We were doing renovations by ourselves. That was the main reason why I didn't have much time. In 2020, I was looking for a job, and then I found a job and I didn't have enough time because I was overworking, and I barely had time to come back home and have some dinner, not to mention that I had to film some videos and I was genuinely tired. Then another year, and I have become very consistent, I guess, 2 years ago, maybe like a year ago, probably 2 years ago in 2023 or something like between the end of 2022, when I was posting a lot, but still I could afford some breaks and vacations, and still my content wasn't picking up a lot. And especially I actually had a chance when the shorts, they came to YouTube, and I actually was getting a lot of different views and a lot of subscribers in a short period of time. But then a lot of people, they kind of got to know this hack about shorts, and it had become overfloated. That was the reason why it was so much harder for people to get these views from shorts and from other videos. It's just like, a lot of people trying to do that. That is the main reason why you just have to keep it in mind. But right now, this year, I haven't taken a single vacation, and listen to me. I actually did. I had 3 weeks during summer, 2 weeks during summer, like different time. And then I had a week and almost, a week and a half of my vacation with my husband this year. But I made sure that I had enough content to fill in the gaps. So the fact that when I went on vacation, I always had preloaded videos on my channel that I could probably make sure that would upload automatically, and I would pre-schedule the timing. And that is the main reason why you just have to make sure that it's going to be there. Because, it's true that algorithm doesn't like when you skip on your videos and when you're not posting, and you can even be banned if you are not posting for some period of time, but you have monetization. For example, it really happened to my mom because my mom has the channel, like a YouTube channel, and she has pretty much a lot of subscribers compared to my channel. She has, I guess, 7,000 subscribers, and she did get some monetization, but then she stopped uploading, and monetization actually stopped. She hadn't been uploading for, I guess, more than 6 months, and she got the first, not even strike, but first notification that she had to post a video, and she didn't. That was the main reason why they kind of closed her channel in a way, and she stopped receiving any monetization. And if she wants to get again some monetization, she has to reach the same thing, like 4,000 views per month or year, I don't remember, and then like 1,000 subscriber mark or something like this. That is the main reason why, I guess, just have to keep in mind that algorithm doesn't like when you skip on the videos. And what I've noticed myself, that when this year I didn't take a break from uploading, even if I wasn't physically uploading, but it was like pre-scheduled uploads, I noticed that this May, I guess in 5 months, my short views, they have become a little bit better. I can't say that I'm viral or anything like this, but they consistently have become better. And you can go through analytics yourself and just see if I'm telling the truth. Then another thing that I was talking about, like flexible hours, you do actually get some flexible hours. The only problem is that if you start really late, most of the time you have so much more things to going around your house, and probably your kids or maybe your husband is coming home, and a lot of people, they're trying to interfere. It's better to do your channel in the morning, but depending on, again, content and whatever you create on your channel, depending on the topic. If you really love working at night, you can do that, but still the content has to be delivered. And if you do this every single day, or at least like 3 or 4 times a week, then still you have to know that you need time to film, then you need time to edit, upload, and distribute this video on any other platforms. But of course, I mentioned this earlier that I used to work and it was really hard for me to be consistent. That is really, really hard, especially if this is just a full-time job and you're doing your YouTube as a full-time job yourself, and you don't really have a lot of people working on you. Like, you're your own boss, but you have to do as a real boss everything by yourself. That is the main reason why I have my husband who supports me, and we have some sort of deal that is going to support me for some period of time. Not like I have some period of time, but we're just agreed on the fact that if I do my channel more time and still I don't really get any monetization or any paid partnership or whatever, then probably I just have to switch to some real job. I mean, like, this is the way to go, because it's really hard sometimes to come home when you had a full day at work, and then around like 6 you're at home, or 7 depending on the time and what is your job, and then you have to cook some dinner and actually spend some time with your husband, and then just film a video and edit this video. This was exhausting. When I was working in the embassy, I remember that I had to come home, and it was actually around 6 something, maybe 6:30 sometimes, and then I would cook some dinner and I would straightforward go to the room and film a video, and then I would edit the same video in the short. And my husband was like, please just take a break, we just have to spend some time together. And like, I can't, this is a second job, it's a real job. Though I still wasn't that consistent, because you actually get tired, and sometimes you do want to spend some time with your family and relax and do absolutely nothing. I would say that the next point that I read down was readiness to isolate yourself from people. And again, it's depending on the content. Maybe you're interviewing people and you're going around the city and you're talking to people. That is no reason why you're not going to be able to isolate yourself, and necessarily you don't really need to do that. But if you're like in a beauty industry or anything like this, when you're doing everything with your hands and you're filming yourself, most of the time you're filming, you're creating something, and then you're editing, and this is the end of your day. And you have to be mentally okay and prepared to stay at home and do not go anywhere. I mean, it's really cool that you save some time on some road trips, but mentally, sometimes it's not the way to go for people, because they do need communication. And there's a certain type of people, I mean, I would say that are okay staying home. Though I would say that even I'm okay staying at home and doing content and be by myself, and only sometimes like talk to my husband, talk to my friends, and go out during weekends. But 5 times a week, I'm barely like with anyone else. I'm basically alone. And that is the main reason why I would say that lack of communication is really hard for your mental health, and you have to consider any type of workouts. I do Pilates workouts, and I talked about that numerous times on my channel, but it can be absolutely any other type of workout, because this is the way to go. If you don't do that, and if you spend a lot of time beside computer and you're working and editing, you're going to go crazy. Even if it's your type of job and you can't do this, isolate yourself. Still, you have to pay attention to the fact that it's really, really mind triggering sometimes. Then you have to prepare yourself for burnout. If you actually don't get, it's a little bit different from depression and burnout, and we're going to talk about this in my future videos about my experience. But I've noticed that this year was especially triggering, because I do actually get some views and I do get comments, and I'm really appreciative and I really love you guys. But to say that I don't really get paid for this job, and at least I don't really get any views, the amount of views that can, kind of like cheer you up and make sure that you go viral, whatever, like that your work is not seen and your work is not probably important. You start self-doubting yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? Why are there people literally doing nothing? And I'm saying this on TikTok, they talk shit about people and they have millions of views. Though I'm not shitting these people right now. I'm just, mental thought, mental process when you are in a state of this burnout. And I am literally like working my ass off and I don't get even a third of this recognition or like fifth of this recognition. And this is just the question that is going in your head. And especially if you have to stay isolated and alone and home, and it's just going in your mind. And you're like, I'm not appreciated. I don't really get paid. So everyone get pays for their job they're doing. I don't really get paid. So I'm basically working for food. Sounds crazy. It sounds crazy and funny, but I don't even actually work for food. My husband provides for me, and I don't really have any limits. It's just not that my husband is like, no, you earn only food, and that's the only way around. It's not about that. It's about just the fact that you really want to be seen and you want to be appreciated. And that's it. That is the main reason why it can create some burnout if you don't get paid or recognized by other people for a long period of time. I mean, like 6 months is pretty much a lot. Like try 7 years, guys. Try 7 years. But I'm actually kidding. So yeah, and sometimes this income, another point is that sometimes this income that you can get from other companies and collaborations, it's of course not enough to provide for a family. And I did get a collaboration offer from a company that they will actually pay me, though when I told them that I'm from Russia, they ghosted me. They literally just ghosted me. They did not answer my answer. They just didn't have any reply for me because I said like, oh, thank you, I really like your company, it's really nice, I would be very interested, but I want to point out that I'm from Russia and due to logistical reasons I'm not going to be able probably to get your PR package or whatever. And this huge company that I was talking about earlier in my podcast, they were super kind, especially our PR manager was super kind, and she was like, I understand, if you move to other country or there going to be any possibility in the future, we would like to work with you, give us just a hint or let us know. And that was really nice. It's just a thoughtful and professional way to deal with any type of influencer if it's a micro influencer. And when a small company is actually asking you to do their promotion, I mean, like, I'm actually paying attention, guys. I do pay attention, and I keep all of their messages in my mail. That is the main reason why, if in the future anything changes and if the border is open and I can get some PR packages and everything is fine finally, and I don't know, like anything changes, I'm gonna pay attention to some companies that were disrespectful in a way, just like say, I'm sorry, we can't do this right now. And I totally get it. I mean, like, again, I was very respectful in my answer, like in my mail. That is the reason, like, I'm not going to work with these companies. If you treat me, micro influencer, the way you do, so you're interested in a partnership, and then all of a sudden you don't even have to say anything in return, like to be at least polite. I'm not asking for like, oh, thank God. No, I'm just asking for a polite answer, like, okay, have a good day. Sorry, we can't do this right now. And like, yeah, thank you as well. That's it. I'm not asking for anything crazy. And I'm going to be I know that they're going to treat their customers the same way. If something happens, if they treat influencers who are going to kind of like work for them this way, how are they going to treat their customers if they're in kind of problem? And I'm just like paying attention to these companies. So I'm not going to work and partner with them in the future. And I just know that it's not going to be a great, I guess, partnership if they treat people like that. Definitely like shit. Okay, then you have to make sure that you have a lot of platforms, multiple platforms working in your favor. And I would say I watched a lot of these videos where people were like, you know what, to become successful, you need to do this step and that step and that step. And you have to be, again, consistent, and you have to focus on one platform only, and only then you have to expand. That's a total bullshit, because I know for sure you have to use as many platforms as it possible, because if it doesn't work in one platform, and I am the living, I guess, experience of that, then it can actually benefit from other platforms. For example, I have my TikTok, RedNote, YouTube, and I have a Pinterest. Sometimes I don't really actually use Pinterest because it's just, I don't know, it's stupid. Like Pinterest, when you upload this, it's a weird way to upload, but it doesn't really matter. And I actually lost my password if I'm not mistaken, but probably I'm going to upload later. So my main, I guess, platforms are TikTok, Instagram, and not even Instagram. I don't really post frequently on Instagram, like TikTok, RedNote, and YouTube, because I tried different kind of things on Instagram. It didn't really work. I mean, I was like, I'm not going to waste my time on Instagram, but I see that TikTok, barely, but still at least some views. And RedNote, I registered it this January, and RedNote was a huge hit for me. To compare the situation, again, I started my YouTube channel in 2019, and I have 1,200 196, if I'm mistaken, subscribers today. And then later, I would say when I started my Red Note page this January, I have a little bit over 1,400 subscribers. That is the difference. And you can tell that I already kind of bit myself in terms of subscribers, different platforms. That is the main reason why I'm going to tell you that you have to consider this option. And it's, if you're not ready to create different type of content on different platforms, it's going to be time consuming. And this is just, you have to pay attention to that. You just have to keep this in mind as well. Okay, and of course, I mentioned this earlier, that people are going to consider you as a salesperson for most of the time, and probably it's true. To survive, you actually have to promote some products and you have to collaborate with different brands. It's just, you have to find this balance where it's worth your time, it's worth your energy, that you're really interested in this company and you are willing to probably invest later. Or it's going to be the same way as Michaela, that every single month she is obsessed with a new Korean skincare. And I watched some videos. She once did probably like 7 skincare brands a month. That is a lot. And of course, then let's talk real quick about boss. Being your own boss, it's still giving you, if you're quite successful, or if you're not even successful, but you try to make this work for you, you have to hire people, you have to take care of your taxes, you have to take care of supervision, like supervise these people, and you don't have to leave them alone because they need your guidance for sure. And the payments, everything is just the way of you taking responsibility. Are you ready to take this responsibility and lead the way? If it's something that you really want, that's great. Another thing, and another suggestion, again, boss is great. Sometimes if you have a nice boss who is wise and really can guide you through certain things, sometimes you might actually miss that. Sometimes you really want to communicate with someone who can help you out and probably give you a piece of advice. That is the main reason why I would say boss is not always bad, but still it's not always good. Sometimes bosses, they're stupid and they make you do some stupid things that you don't really need to do. Yeah, that is my kind of like 2 cents. Yeah, there are a lot of benefits, especially if you're famous and if you get a lot of views. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that you should consider before you get into that. And of course, like I actually watched one guy who was talking about the way you can grow your channel, but then it slipped from his tongue that he said, most of the time I have people that are interested in this type of content for 5 or 6 months, and when it doesn't work for them, I have new people and new audience. That is the main reason a lot of the views and a lot of the, I guess, a lot of people that are watching his videos, they're coming from newcomers and from new people, and people that tried that for some period of time, he says that it doesn't work for them. That is the main reason why majority of my views are coming from newcomers, not from my actual subscribers, because my actual subscribers, they're interested in this for 6 months or something. And that's actually kind of telling. I mean, like, I am stupid enough to keep on doing my YouTube channel for 7 years without any benefits, and I guess it's stupidity at this level, because, like, girl, you're not getting anything out of it. But, you know, I don't know. It's in my character. I can't do that. I mean, knowing that I had a chance and opportunity that probably, like, tomorrow can work out for me, and the next day is, again, tomorrow can work out for me. I don't know. I try to still put out myself there. And people, sometimes people, they do actually give up too early. I mean, 6 months, it's nothing. 6 months is really nothing to get you going. But I know that it's a tiring experience, especially if you have kids and especially if you have your second job, like your main job. It's really hard. It's really hard, let alone it's really hard to do this channel without a real job. And to do this full time, having a job and kids, it's almost impossible. I don't really know this type of people, like, who can do that. I mean, still consistently. And the point here, that when I started my channel and was posting and doing all of that, again, the first shift that I saw was only in 5 months that I got my views to the point where it was more or less the same level as, like, every single time. I don't know. It depending on, I mean, like, I might be just not meant for this job and I'm too stubborn to give up, but it might work out for you guys. I mean, like, I do actually know a couple of people that started the channel in 2020 or something like that, and they're very successful, and they blew up internet in 5 months or even in 2 months, and that's just a really cool story. But if you're not lucky enough, just make sure that you know all the downfalls you know that it might take longer than you expect, and that it's not always glitter and gold. That's it. That's just my only recommendation. Something that I wanted to share. I love you all so much, and I'm going to see you next time in my next podcast. Bye bye.